Hi. Hi. Rather than one long story, I got 3 embarrassing moments to share with you. And then we'll have a contest between my 3 stories, which was the best story of my own 3 stories. I got to be a winner that way. I figured it out. Anyway, 6 of us flew down to Jamaica. And we got matching shirts that said, "Been there, done that, Fatty Tour, 1994, Negril Beach." So we flew into, now Fatty refers to something else. I hope you all understand that. Those who don't understand it, don't worry about it. Anyway, so we fly into Montego Bay, or as Jamaicans say, M-Bay. And then you have to get transportation out to Negril Beach, which is about 50 miles. Now, if anybody's ever been on that road, the only way to describe it, it's like a roller coaster going in both directions. It's the scariest thing you could ever imagine. And so we pick out a really nice, as a 17-passenger, brand new Toyota minivan, stretched out, and it's beautiful. We get in the thing, and I don't know these guys that well that I'm traveling with. I work with them. They're acquaintances, not friends. And we load the luggage up, and we're sitting down, and one of the guys is dropping F-bombs on the driver. A lot, and it's loud, and I'm basically crawling under the seat at this point. I get a little closer to find out what's going on, and he told the driver he has to stop to buy some dope so they could smoke on the way out. And the guy's explaining to him that he can't do that, he's licensed, he's this. And it just goes on and on. I'm embarrassed to be there in the same place with this guy. And finally, Kevin, the guy, says to the driver, "Well, if you don't, we're all getting off the bus." And the guy stopped and bought the dope all the way. He really did. Anyway, that's story number 1. Number 2, we're in Jamaica. Now, I didn't tell you, my brother lived in Jamaica. He had issues. And so we go down to visit him. And if anyone been to Negril Beach, there's a place called Rick's. Rick's is in the cliff. And we're staying on the beach, and we leave our hotel, and we have a friend of my brother's is along. This is his nickname. Everybody has a street name. His name is Dr. Quality, is his street name. And he's driving us. Before we leave, my brother is smoking. We get to the Rick's Cafe, and my brother's smoking in the parking lot there. We leave Rick's. He's smoking again. We go into this really, really cool restaurant called Estabi. In fact, it was in the James Bond movie. That's how cool the restaurant is. Dr. No. And we're over the cliffs, and we're sitting in the restaurant. My brother walks up to the balcony, and he's now smoking out in the restaurant by the balcony. And Dr. Quality looks at my brother and says, "Billy Man, you smoke too much." My brother didn't know it was embarrassing. I knew it was embarrassing. The story number 3. Okay. Now we're moving to Maine. I used to own a campground in Maine. And I had some really nice employees. I had Jake and Kyle, and then I had my 2 babysitters, my 16-year-old beauties, my babysitters. And every night before I close up the campground, I'd walk about 10 acres just to make sure all the campfires are out and nobody's killing each other. And it's about midnight at this point, and I hear giggling. I can't really find the giggling. So I'm now trying to trace the giggling, and there's more giggling and more giggling. Finally get to the pool, and my 2 babysitters are skinny dipping. Now, I could have stood there and gave them a lecture, but that would be creepy. So I just said, "Just meet me down at the camp store." And these are 2 16-year-olds, and about 5 minutes later, they're down, they're dressed, obviously, and they're sitting at the counter with me, and they didn't know what to expect. "You're fired, I'm gonna tell your parents." And I looked at them and I said, "Girls, next time you skinny dip, there's no giggling." Now, story number 1, 2, or 3? Number 3. Number 3. Thank you.